Honorable President Abdullah Gul, as always, for your tremendously warm and brotherly and pleasant welcome into a country that both Afghans and Pakistanis love, Turkey, an old friend of us. And thank you, Mr. Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, for attending this session with us. This session today has been the 8th session, Honorable President Gul, that Turkey has kindly organized. And you have been, as the Foreign Minister of Turkey years ago, the pioneer of these sessions, for which we recognize and thank you. As in the past sessions, today too we discussed all areas of cooperation between the three countries. And as in the past, today too we had a particular focus on the issue of security and peace building in both Afghanistan and Pakistan. We exchanged views in a very friendly, transparent, and focused environment of fraternity. And in detail, we will continue to have an engagement on the issues that confront us. We discussed how to advance the cause of peace in Afghanistan and to do the same in Pakistan, and how to increase a cooperative, trusting environment between the two countries. Turkey's contribution today was that of a brother that is trying to bring well-being and progress to both countries, and then by extension to the region. We also engaged, second, to the security issues and peace, issues of economic relevance, transportation and transit between the three countries. As President Abdullah Gul referred to, Afghanistan has a very important year ahead, the year 2014, in which there will be a transition, a complete transition of security to the Afghan forces, which has actually already taken place, meaning the withdrawal of a great majority of US and NATO forces from Afghanistan, and also the presidential and provincial council elections in Afghanistan, which we will be fortunately holding on the 5th of April for both the election of the president and the election of the provincial council members. Afghanistan is committed to this process of tripartite dialogue between Turkey, Afghanistan, and Pakistan, hosted by Turkey. And I am sure that the next Afghan president who will be coming to take charge in less than 3 months in our country will be following the process, will be convening with you, Mr. President, in Ankara or Istanbul, and with Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif. We are hopeful in Afghanistan that as this process moves forward, that it will unfold for all of us a result that we have been seeking for so long. Afghanistan and Pakistan, as neighbors, have found common ground in many areas, and I'm sure this common ground will be cemented further with the backing and facilitation of Turkey, and in particular, President Gul. I thank you very much, sir, for today's meetings and for the very constructive and patient environment that you provided. Thank you, Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif.
Excellency, this is Absar Alam from ARG News, Pakistan. My question is to President Karzai. Sir, there is a perception in Kabul that state and non-state actors are harboring some of the groups which are doing terrorist activities in Afghanistan. Similarly, there is a perception, strong perception in Islamabad that Kabul is doing the same. Did this matter come up for any discussion? And do you, all excellencies, have discussed and found any solution? And secondly, since all of you are here, excellencies, why is it that Muslim nations, as the theme is sustainable peace in the heart of Asia, since heart of Asia is sick, so why Muslim nations are behind all other nations in economic development, in democratic traditions, in social justice, and freedom of media?
The answer to your first question can be short. The answer to your second question is very philosophical and needs a lot of time. Yes, we did discuss the issue of sanctuaries and the involvement of state and non-state actors in, or as you put it in your words, the impression that we have of state, perception that we have of state and non-state actors. We did discuss it in detail. As a matter of fact, the whole morning session was about this. The deliberation between us was very frank, very detailed, included all the officials, but we have not yet found a way out. That's what I hope will happen as we move forward. As to the backwardness of us, the Muslim world, there are current and historical factors that we need to address, and we need to address it as Muslims and through our own understanding and analysis.
This is Saleh Zafir. I am from Young Group of the newspapers from Pakistan. That you have been reported that you are not going to sign SPA as long polls are not held in your country. Does it mean that this agreement will not be signed as long you are president of your country? And the related query to you, Sir, Excellency, that Mr. Fazlullah is living in your country, who has taken responsibility of scores of people's, innocent people's killing in Pakistan. Are you in mood to repatriate him to his country back? And since Pakistan has asked for that several times. Thank you, sirs.
Well, Mr. Zafar, good to see you. You and I know each other now for 30 years. I have changed a lot. You have remained young. Now, sir, the BSA is supported by us, the Afghan people, generally. And it is supported because from this arrangement with America, the bilateral security agreement, we expect our country to be peaceful and stable. So the BSA will be useful to us only when we are peaceful and stable. Therefore, the condition of the lawyer Jirga was that peace is a prerequisite for the BSA, and therefore my condition that there must be first the launch of the peace process before the BSA is signed. Now, this condition is not an opposition to the BSA. It's a facilitator of the BSA. I have put this condition not to oppose the signing of the BSA, but to promote and facilitate the signing of the BSA with the United States of America. And I hope that it should be understood in the same terms. So, to put it in fewer precise words, the signing of the BSA is not opposed, but is agreed to. The condition as facilitation for the BSA is the launch of the peace process, because it's peace that we need. And the BSA is for that purpose and should serve that purpose. Now, Mullah Fazlullah and the prisons of the Pakistani Taliban movement members in parts of our country is the direct consequence of the insecurity and the violation of Afghan territory by the Taliban and by other extremist elements in the past so many years. So the question of sanctuaries in our region is the result of inaction of the past years. And I hope that as we move forward, we'll be taking action before matters become worse for both the countries and for the region. Even worse for both the countries and for the region.
This is Susan Fraser from the Associated Press. I would like to direct my question at President Karzai, if I may. My question is about the release of the prisoners from the Parwan detention center. What is the reason for their release, first of all? Secondly, would it not have been possible to put them on trial, given the fact that the US says that, that there is DNA and scientific evidence against them? And thirdly, I would like to ask how many more prisoners there are at this detention center, and what is the likelihood of their being released? Thank you.
Ma'am, the very presence of the Bagram prison is against Afghan law and Afghan sovereignty. And this has been one of the most contentious issues between us and the United States. This isn't a new issue between us. It surfaced way back in 2005 and 6. And it became a point of disagreement and rather dispute between us in 2007. My government has been trying since then to remove this prison from US control and to turn it into an Afghan facility in accordance with Afghan laws and in accordance with Afghan sovereignty. Initially, the United States told us that the prisoners that they take there are prisoners of war, therefore they're outside of the judicial authority of Afghanistan. And in order to have the release of those prisoners and to move the prison away from American control, we organized a system of addressing the issue of the prisoners and the prison itself between the two countries. In that arrangement, a board was assigned, and the board was tasked to look into each file, and if the board found a member of the file, the prisoner, to be innocent, that the board was authorized to release. More than 500 were released. The last batch of people, of prisoners that were to be released, saw an objection from the United States. The US said that they should go to the Afghan judicial process. We convened a number of meetings of the judicial authorities of Afghanistan and our intelligence, and our intelligence chief is here today, present with us. We gave those files to rigorous and repeated investigation and fact-finding. Of the 88 prisoners, our intelligence reported having no file, reference of any kind whatsoever. The 27 others had only a preliminary first report on them. I don't know how many, 16 were 16. 16 were considered to be having some form of criminal charge. So accordingly, the board decided to release them. The US government objected. And in order to fulfill their request, we gave the files to our judicial authorities, and the judicial authorities immediately instructed their release. Now, Afghanistan is a sovereign country. If the Afghan judicial authorities decide to release a prisoner, it is of no concern to the US and should be of no concern to the US. And I hope that the United States will stop harassing Afghanistan's procedures and judicial authority, and I hope that the United States will now begin to respect Afghan sovereignty.
Sayın Cumhurbaşkanım, benim hem size hem de sayın konuk liderlere bir sorum olacak. Son günlerde çok tartışılan bir düzenleme var efendim. Yeni internet yasası uluslararası alanda da oldukça yankı buldu. İnternette sansür geldiği noktasına değerlendirmeler var. Yasa artık Çankaya Köşkü'nde. Sizin düzenlemeyle ilgili değerlendirmeleriniz nelerdir? Yasa ile ilgili nasıl bir tasarrufunuz olacak? İkinci sorum da Sayın Karzai ve Sayın Şerif'e. Hem Pakistan hem de Afganistan'ın Türkiye ile olan ilişkilerinde, bu köklü ilişkilerde devletler arasındaki işbirliğiyle birlikte sivil toplumun da rolünü görüyoruz. Bu bağlamda örneğin başta İHH, Kızılay, Kimse Yok mu gibi dernekler olmak üzere birçok STK ülkelerinizde faaliyet gösteriyor. Yine aynı şekilde Türk iş adamları tarafından Afganistan ve Pakistan'da açılan Türk okulları var. Burada binlerce öğrenci eğitim görüyor. Bu bağlamda ülkeler arasındaki ilişkilerin gelişmesinde sivil toplumun etkisi hakkındaki düşüncelerinizi alabilir miyim? Teşekkürler.
Domestic issue. So, yes. Okay. Bahsettiğiniz yasa üzerinde çalışıyoruz. Bir iki sıkıntılı konu var, üstünde çalışıyoruz. That's all for me.
I hope I could do the same in domestic issues, Mr. President. So short and precise. Prime Minister would like to answer.
I will follow suit.
The presence of Turkish NGOs is of help to Afghanistan in the manner of the tradition of friendship that we have between our two countries, centuries old. The Turkish-Afghan schools that are run by a Turkish NGO or Turkish body in Afghanistan are delivering good educational service to the Afghan children. We are satisfied with it, and we appreciate it very highly.
Teşekkür ederiz.